Hello, I am Panos Kotzathanasis, and this is ASEAN Movie Pulse Interviews. Today I'm here with Virginia de Witt, whose film Karita will premiere at the Dances with Films Festival on June 22nd in Los Angeles. How are you, Virginia?
I'm doing great. I am beaming in from a small town in northern Louisiana. I understand you're in a small town in Greece, so hopefully our connection will stay strong.
Okay, let's hope. So first question, but how did you end up shooting a film in Japan with Koji Ueda?
I'd known Koji for a few years. We'd been friends, and I'd visited Tokyo. I apologize. I'd visited Tokyo a few times with my husband, who works there. He runs a fashion label there called St. Michael. So actually, in all likelihood, relocate there in 2025. So I'd begun to scope out the film scene in Tokyo, and our friend Kubo, who owns G8 Fashion Boutique, offered to fund part of the film if I funded basically all of the post-production. So we knew we would be going to Japan for an extended period in September and October of 2023. And other actors and writers out there know that you can't ever really turn down an opportunity if it involves speaking a foreign language. You're going to get on Duolingo and learn that foreign language.
So you did not speak Japanese before the movie, or?
I've been learning to the best of my abilities for about 6 or 7 months. And part of what gave Kubo confidence in asking me was, I guess, my pronunciation came a little bit more naturally than other Westerners. So a lot of the lines in Karita I had memorized phonetically. I knew what the words meant, and more importantly, I knew what they meant to my character. But the character in the movie knows more Japanese than I do.
Okay. And how was the experience of shooting in Japan? How different is in shooting in the US, in the West, let's say?
It was incredible. It was very low budget, very bare bones crew. And a lot of new people, a lot of people, putting in time and effort without being paid a lot, if anything at all. And so that can sometimes make things move slowly, but everything was really quick, really good attitude. We even got shut down by the police all 3 nights of shooting. And anyone who's shot in LA without a permit knows that that's the end, it's over. But each time it would only set us back, 20 minutes because the police in Tokyo were so polite.
Huh. Okay. So you did not have permits to shoot at night then?
Oh gosh, I am being recorded, aren't I?
Okay. All right. So as I was reading your opinion about the film, you said that Karita is a film inspired by the manga series Nana, while trying to answer the question, what if Lost in Translation was cast with the Fleabag character? So tell me a bit about this whole thing.
Yeah, I originally had envisioned the script to be about female friendship, knowing that I would have the incredible Haruka Hirata available to me. And then Kubo encouraged me to have a larger cast, and introduce boys and romance and have a little bit more of a mainstream appeal. And I was interested in that because the last two features I've done, Candyland and Last Weekend, involved playing really heavy characters, really emotionally taxing roles, which were really gratifying. And those are the roles I go for. But I saw an opportunity to not just do something light because I'm not in my line of work to do anything easy, God knows, but to be able to showcase that I can do more than play, a truck stop hooker or a drug addicted B-lister or, woman in tragedy, woman on the edge, and have more of a lighter version of a young woman who's at a crossroads in life and dealing with more normal everyday slice of life things. It just happens to be in a foreign country, which gives, I hope, to anyone who travels to foreign places, perspective on, what it is. So I really liked the Nana manga series because it was so fun, but not a lot really happened in the series except for changes in the girls' social relationships and revelations about their backgrounds. And um, I really enjoyed that. And of course, I then picked two of the most prominent women in Western film and television, Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Sofia Coppola, because they're there paving the way for female filmmakers. I'd never directed anything before, and so I also feel like, as a first-time female director who's white and American in Tokyo, there was no way I was going to escape the Sofia Coppola comparison. So I figured I may as well lean into it because, of course, it's such a beautiful movie and she's such a legend. So I decided to just go ahead and embrace that. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is just an absolute hero of mine. I lived in England for 5 years and I'd already moved to LA when Fleabag came out, but it was such a revelation to someone like me that there is a possibility to be like a weird, funny, dorky, sexy, odd woman.
Okay, okay. And also, a large part of the film is about being a foreigner in Tokyo. So how is that for you? How do you feel about that?
I was so touched by the way Japan embraced us, especially Americans, especially our history of how we treated Japan, even things that are long ago. But they are absolutely delighted by Western culture, Western cadence. Um, I'm hoping to shoot a feature film in Japan in the next few years that largely takes place in America in the 80s. But my idea is that it would be easier to set dress Japan as 1980s America because they've done such a great job preserving American clothes, American artifacts. Um, and so the embrace and also the language barrier that happens as someone who barely speaks the language moving around Japan was something I really wanted to emulate. One of the actors, uh, Mika Ushio, was very well trained. She's a theater actress, but the two boys who played Ren and Kenji had basically never acted before. And so the easiest way to direct them, and I think they did such a great job, and the cast has often been praised, and I think they did a better job than I did. Because they were able to just play themselves as 20-something-year-old Japanese people encountering an American. And all the delight and all the, we did a lot of improv that didn't make it into the movie, but I think that it was a great exercise in us being able to encounter each other in this really naturalistic way, because ultimately that's what I wanted to portray in a short film was a natural relationship between strangers.
Okay. And how is nightlife in Tokyo? Is it vibrant? How is the situation there?
It's really fun. Well, this may surprise you, given the character, but I actually don't drink alcohol. I haven't for a few years, so
Uh-huh.
I'm not the one to ask for that type of nightlife. But Tokyo is so beautiful, and it's a city, I think, designed to look particularly beautiful at night, uh, with the lights, with the streets. So we really wanted to capture the way that looked. And Koji, my co-director, largely utilizes street photography in his art. So he was really primed to be able to get that onto the black magic in a moving image.
And but how did the casting work in general? And how did you end up also playing and directing? I don't know, was it a financial decision or something else?
It was a financial decision. Yeah. And it was also, I'm not really fond of being the lead in something I'm directing. The next few things I direct, if I'm in it, I really don't want to be the lead. That was really one of the asks that Kubo of GR8 asked. He was interested in me, being the face of the movie, as part of him funding part of the production as an online asset for St. Michael. I'm guessing that's because I'm married to the person behind St. Michael, so it made more sense keeping it in the family and on brand. And then he was excited and so generously wanted to help, showcase my ability to function in Japanese work. But my big regret of the film is that the rest of the cast weren't showcased more, particularly Mika, who's such a talented actress. And the two boys were, the film came from a fashion world. Koji's a fashion photographer, Kubo, the executive producer, is a fashion boutique owner. So I'd asked for actors with, a lot of acting experience. They gave me two absolutely gorgeous, tall, wonderful runway models who were interested in acting. So, they put out the feel for actors in that world. And, we found these two boys, men. They're a lot younger than I am. But they were really, I think, the best we could have gotten because they were so excited about acting. They really wanted to be on set. They really wanted to learn. Hayato, who plays Kenji, actually showed up hours before his call time. And I said, hey, you should go. We're not going to need you till, much later. And he insisted on staying because he wanted to sit and watch the way a set on location unfolded because he wanted to learn. And that's such a rare and exciting opportunity to have someone who's that keen to be on set just to observe.
And tell me a bit about that uncle character who was like a Yakuza-like type. That was the funniest moment for me. The owner of the car that you steal, that he's like a crazy Yakuza style of guy.
That was the cameo of Kubo, who is the
Ah.
executive producer. And I wrote that knowing I would ask him to do it, writing it exactly for him, knowing that that cutaway was, and I'm so glad you found it funny because I had a feeling that might be the crown jewel. And Kubo was so scared. He'd never acted before. And so the joke was every time we had a meeting about Karita, we'd have to talk about casting and we'd have to talk about Kubo's lines. And then we would have to talk about locations and then we would talk about Kubo's lines. But he did such a fantastic job, as I knew he would because he's such an animated and lively person. The dog was actually an accident. Originally, the line was going to be, you have to water my plants. We bought watering cans and little potted plants. And as we were getting ready to shoot a different scene, this woman walked by with this beautiful Afghan hound. Um, and Koji and I looked at each other and we were like, oh my God, we have to get this dog. So I think me being a foreigner helped, and I came up, alongside Koji, and he asked in proper Japanese, and I said, onegai shimasu to the best of my abilities. And she was so, sweet, immediately just with both hands handed the leash over. And Pochi-san became part of the cast. And he was perfect because he only ever barked when Kubo was speaking,
Okay. All right.
added to the humor.
Okay, good. Okay, and tell me a bit about the cinematography, what you wanted to do in the visual aspect of the film, let's say.
Um, Gosh, I wish Koji was here. We tried to tap him in, but it's midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning in Tokyo. We were definitely trying to emulate sort of a cleaner Tokyo feel. And then the color correction made it very blue and made it feel very modern, which was right for this work. My American-based cinematographer, Marcin Shchinsky, really emulates cinematography of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And Koji is much more of a modern approach. And since this was ultimately a modern story, having it feel really contemporary was important.
And about the editing, the pace of the film, let's say, you wanted it to be fast, I guess.
Yeah, it's a longer film for shorts. It's 17 minutes, which can be difficult to program. I know that shorts that are between 6 and 13 minutes are usually a better chance. So we're really, grateful to be able to have some screenings. And as a result of that, we got, lots of B-roll, lots of inserts. We have our incredible editor, I think he's named by his proper name, Curtis Williams. His editing name is usually Colorado Routledge. But he really knows what he's doing. And I've made a few short films, and that was one of the things that did give me confidence in having my directorial debut happen in Japan, was knowing I had a team around me who would be able to do really great work. And that includes the post-production team, Curtis, and then of course Brian Ray, who got us the incredible licensing rights to the soundtrack.
Okay. And the last question, I guess, future projects apart from that 80s film in Japan.
No, I feel like I've already said too much. It's bad luck and it's bad form to talk about things. I mean, I'm writing right now, also with Haruka Hirata, and I have a short film coming up directed by a Venezuelan director named Guillermo Azacaya. Guillermo Arcaya. And I got a little bit of the Japanese influence put in there. And co-starring with Julian Sensley, who's a really wonderful actor. So I'll be shooting that in July, and that'll be another short that is going to go around the festival circuit. And then, yeah, I'm writing and trying to get ready for Japan in 2025.
So you're gonna continue with all your capacities, right? Actors, directing, everything.
I mean, if it were up to me, I would just be a run-of-the-mill actor, but it wasn't happening that way. When I got my master's in creative writing, to have another skill to fall back upon, but still be in the film world. But yeah, I'm still firing on all cylinders, acting, writing, producing, directing. Maybe one day I can just be an actor and focus on that. But in the meantime, it's as Kubo would say, go, go, go time. And I have a small child, so I super can't slow down right now.
Okay. So it's a necessity to do a lot of things in order to survive nowadays, right?
Yeah, particularly, in the US, the film industry, it's no secret, it's running pretty slowly right now. And so I'm looking at opportunities everywhere. Je parle un peu français aussi, and so maybe I'll end up. No, I'm beginning to put that out there after being shy about it for 20 years. Okay, where else are the opportunities? I will go anywhere.
Okay. Great. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Panos. I really appreciate you having me on and for writing up about Karita.
Great. Good luck with the premiere, and maybe we can talk again soon. Have a nice
That
day.
would be great. I'd love that. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. アメリカと日本はとても違う。私はカリタ。 だから日本に来た。エリグルのことやったことある？
めっちゃかっこいいやん。
そんなことしないじゃん、それ。
ジョイライド。
Don't steal a car or anything.